Ici à rappeler que ça fait plus de 10 ans que le Burkina Faso, le Mali et le Niger géreront les conséquences négatives, conséquences socio-économiques, conséquences sécuritaires, conséquences politiques, conséquences humanitaires de l'aventure hasardeuse de l'OTAN en Libye. Bien entendu, se pose la question, si ça nous a pris 10 ans, accepter encore une autre aventure de la même nature au Niger nous prendrait combien d'années? On ne sait pas, 20 ans, 30 ans, 40 ans, 50 ans. Une chose est sûre, le président Goïta et le président Traoré ont clairement dit non, non et non. Nous n'accepterons pas d'intervention militaire au Niger. Il en va de notre survie. Et bien entendu, les chefs d'État du Mali et du Burkina ont pris la ferme décision de laisser des actifs et non des passifs aux générations futures. À l'endroit de la CEDEAO, nous avons deux messages. Le premier message, c'est que nous leur demandons très clairement de cesser d'affamer nos peuples. Nous n'avons pas besoin de sanctions. Je pense qu'il y a énormément accès de souffrance que nos populations traversent. Le deuxième message, qui est également un message important, nous apprécions bien les ultimatums. Je pense que la CEDEAO se trompe lourdement de destinataire. Il faudra adresser ces ultimatums aux groupes terroristes. Et ça fait 10 ans que nous attendons cela. Je pense que nous serons très heureux pour une fois que ces ultimatums soient adressés aux groupes terroristes. Ensuite, à l'endroit du peuple frère du Niger, ce sont des moments difficiles. Le Mali et le Burkina Faso ont traversé des épreuves similaires. Nous tenons à leur rassurer très fermement de notre soutien et de notre solidarité. Et restons résilients et stoïques, pour reprendre les propos de son Excellence le colonel Assimi Goïta. Tout ce qui est substantiel et positif ne peut s'obtenir dans la facilité. Et s'il plaît à Dieu, nous vaincrons.
The coalition of northern groups CNG, an amalgamation of several groups in northern Nigeria, has called on the Niger Republic coup leader Abdurrahmani Tishani to order that the burning of the Nigerian flag in the country should stop. CNG warned that Niger stands to lose the ample public sympathy freely given to the country by the vast majority of Nigerians with the new development. The coalition declared that discrediting Nigerian president and leaders is not only immoral and illegal, but also abhorrent to Nigerians' collective sensibilities and ordinary decency, and therefore unacceptable. This was disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja by the CNG spokesman, Comrade Abdulaziz Suleiman, who called on the Nigerian government to reconsider its stand on the closure of borders with Niger.
The electricity supply to Niamey has been reduced, adding to the suffering of Nigerians. Rabia can no longer support her 5 children. Selling ice cream was her only source of income.
The freezer isn't working. We only get power for 2 hours. We depend on this to survive. Now, with power outages, even the juices we have are undrinkable.
Most of Niger's imports come from neighboring Nigeria and Benin. Both countries have imposed sanctions on Niger, which are affecting day-to-day life.
If we get the products at the old prices, I don't mind selling them at the regular cost. But if the wholesalers are selling at a higher cost, we will have to increase our prices.
Since Western countries and international organizations suspended aid, the Military Council has launched several initiatives to reduce the impact of sanctions.
It also explained that any breakdown of law and order will only compound the security and humanitarian situations in the region, especially in Mali, Libya, and others. The statement reads in part, and I quote, "The coalition of northern groups CNG, having watched events unfolding since the 7-day ultimatum handed by the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS for military leaders in Niger Republic to restore democratic order in the country, CNG notes especially the rigid position assumed by both ECOWAS and the military leaders in Niger, which left very little space for honest discussions towards peaceful resolution of what is ordinarily an African affair that can be resolved the African way. For one, the hasty closure of borders and trade routes by neighboring countries, the cutting off of electricity supply by Nigeria, and the slapping of a regime of economic sanction were not in the best interest of peace. On their part, the coup leaders in Niger have stubbornly foreclosed every window of opportunity for discussion by rejecting all overtures, including the refusal to allow diplomatic emissaries from the United Nations, the African Union, and ECOWAS to initiate negotiations. CNG notes also that the military junta in Niger have encouraged or overlooked the offensive manner their citizens have engaged in the public insult to the collective sensibilities of Nigerians and Nigeria as a country by desecrating the Nigerian national flag. We also note that the incitement to war by the regimes in Mali and Burkina Faso, as well as the direct and indirect inflammation of the situation by setting foreign interests on the West and East that only complicate matters the more. CNG notes as well the contradictory ambiguity between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State, and government's suiting remark that prioritize diplomatic negotiation and dialogue over war, and part of the ECOWAS communique that tends to suggest an order for the deployment of a standing military force against Niger. CNG notes that, in light of its observation, it declared the following: to emphatically repudiate any form of preference for military action against Niger or any other West Africa or African nation by any regional or international community and institution, to demand both the military authorities in Niger and the ECOWAS to open and allow all doors for discussions, devolve any hidden agenda or unnecessary preconditions for genuine dialogue, to call on the leaders of the coup in Niger Republic to discard their rigid stand and unhelpful show of bravado and embrace all diplomatic overtures in order to reach a peaceful and bloodless resolution of the matter, keeping in mind that threats and conflict have little or no utility value, to condemn with all our minds the burning in Niger of Nigerian national flag, which is a symbol of nationhood, and demand the military junta to order its stop, to declare the discrediting of our president and leaders not only immoral and illegal, but also abhorrent to Nigerians' collective sensibilities and ordinary decency, and therefore unacceptable, to also demand from the military leaders in Niger action against the continuous burning of the Nigerian flag, and to warn that they stand to lose the ample public sympathy freely given to them by the vast majority of Nigerians, to call on the federal government of Nigeria to reconsider its stance on the closure of borders with Niger and the seizure of electricity supply, to warn against unnecessary escalation of the situation by the unsolicited intervention of the international community and other dubious foreign interests. It is imperative that they understand that bilateral relationships are guided by the principles of sovereignty, promotion of peace, and the standards that guide legitimate interference. Hence, their intervention, exclamation, and actions in the affairs of the continent should not be drawn to discountenance the effort of Africa to protect its citizens and to impose law and order. It is important to call the attention of the entire international community and organization to weigh the impact and consequence of a destabilized West African sub-region, which will certainly threaten the peace and security of entire Africa. Any breakdown of law and order will only compound the security and humanitarian situation in the region, especially in Mali, Libya. This will further worsen the continent, disrupt international cohesion, compound the despondent case of human trafficking, migration, and other challenges the continent and the world are now facing. Lastly, the CNG wishes to make a special appeal to political, religious, traditional, and cultural leaders across the West African sub-region to urgently intervene by impressing the need for a window for serious negotiation to be provided. These leaders should identify a neutral location within Africa at which to hold such honest discussions to finally bring a bloodless, enduring end to this impasse.